Give us your sense of how or what investors are pricing in right now as we see these stocks tumble.
Well, I think they are just reacting to the headlines. It's never good when you are being under antitrust scrutiny or being accused of monopolistic characteristics. However, what's interesting about Google and Facebook is they don't really charge for their service, so nobody is forced to pay to use it. And Apple just has a significant market share, but there are also Android-based phones and other types of phones. And in fact, the Android user installed base is significantly greater than even the Apple installed base. It's also unfortunate that this bad news is coming on a day when Apple is having their Worldwide Developer Conference and announcing a lot of new features and upgrades to the iPhone.
Almost sort of drowning out what's happening at WWDC. I mean, you've had to have been thinking about what potentially the effects of more regulation in the US might be. How do you think it might pan out? Are you looking at what Europe's done, which is basically not really to change the business models or force that much change in the business models, but just slap fines on? Sure, they've been asking Google to tinker around the edges, but not much really seems to have come from it. Do we take that tack, or do we see something more substantial like Elizabeth Warren's call to break them up?
Well, I really don't understand, first of all, for example, how do you break up Facebook? Do you break it up into two companies, Face and Book? And I really don't think that their user base loses sleep at night in the fact that Facebook or Google or Apple are really big companies. I mean, I don't think that. I think the size actually provides a better service
But Ivan,
model
it's quite obvious, I would have thought, how you might break up Facebook is that you undo the big M&A, you break WhatsApp to one side, you put Instagram to one side, and that's exactly what Mark Zuckerberg has been looking at and why perhaps he's been trying to integrate the products that much more.
Well, no, but they're still on the Facebook platform. You still sign into your Facebook account, and you can use different parts of Facebook and integrate with that into Messenger or WhatsApp or some of the other, like Facebook Stories, which is a big growing app as well. So breaking them up and then causing multiple sign-ins and multiple access wouldn't be convenient or helpful for the consumer.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. If that's the case, it sounds like you're thinking the solution or the next step might be more fines. These companies have so much cash. They are throwing off cash that even a large fine barely makes a dent. It wouldn't be financially material. Is there reason to believe the government would go further than that?
Well, the problem with fines is you want to make them just. And, of course, fines have to fit the crime, not fit your pocketbook, just because somebody can. For example, if you get a speeding ticket and it's $100 and you can afford to pay more, they don't charge you more. And even if it just comes down to the cost of doing business. The real fact here with Facebook is that the user data access, the rule book hasn't been written because they're not disclosing private data. Facebook discloses data that people put on Facebook for everybody to see. So it is public data. And the business model, see, Facebook, as an example, provides a social media platform for people to use for free, not to have for free. There's a difference. It's advertiser paid. And I think maybe one of the remedies is back in the old days, for example, if you were listed in the phone book, it was free to have your listing. If you wanted an unlisted number, there actually was a fee. And Sheryl Sandberg has spoken in the past about possibly a fully private Facebook membership, which would come at a fee. It would be a premium product. I've also thought that maybe somehow Facebook would tier their product and have a basic product for free, because Mark Zuckerberg says in his goal to connect the world, there will always be a free version. And then more of a deluxe version, which will have different features, more privacy settings, which could come at a premium price. But they're not giving access to people's private information. They're giving access to information people have put out there, and that's what makes the situation unique.
Right.
On Google's situation is Google has over 98% of the search market share because they have built an incredible brand. That even the verb to Google is synonymous with searching on the internet. And that goes to their brand and the strength of their product. There are other search engines. There's Yahoo, there's Bing, there's even things like DuckDuckGo, and there's actually a number of search engines that you've never even heard of that do exist, but people like to use Google. And again, it's free to use.